Okay guys, so this is obviously not my correct scenery, but I don't have a choice. I thought my son was not gonna be here. He is here, so I'm locked in this room. I wanted to film this for people who have knee issues, who either cannot bend, can't put too much weight on, whatever it is, you're always gonna have a hard time with leg day. So I have a few people in the group this month like that. So I figured if I made one video with a bunch of options for substitutions, you can just watch this video and then pick from the exercises I show you in this video instead of having to like message me and like wait for a response every time like you're going to work out and you realize you can't do something, just because like if I'm at work, I don't always have good service, or if I just happen to miss it, like I don't always like look for my Facebook messages. So I figured this will just be an easier way. So like I said, it could be you have knee issues, it could be you can't bend at all, it could be you just can't do things kneeling on the floor, whatever it is, I'm just gonna try to give you a wide idea of exercises that you can do, okay? So a lot of them are going to be just standing leg exercises. So the first one is gonna be just a front kick. So you're gonna raise up your leg as high as you can to the front, and you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. If you had a resistance band, you would put it right here, kind of like a little bit higher than your ankles, and then you obviously wouldn't go as high. It would look more like this because you would have the band around. If you don't have the band around, you're gonna wanna go as high as you can, okay? So this is just like a front raise. Now you can do the same thing with the side and the back. So the side is the same idea, but you're raising to the side. You can always also hold on to something if you feel like it's hard to balance on one leg, but the same thing, you're gonna go out to the side. If you have a resistant band, it's gonna be more like this. If you don't have one, you're gonna go as high as you can. And then the same thing with the back. It's almost like a standing donkey kick. You're gonna kick as high as you can toward the back. If you have a resistant band, it'll probably look more like that. And then you can also mix it all together. So in one of our workouts, I do a front lunge, a lateral lunge, and a back. You could do front kick, side kick, back one, front, side, back. Oops, that's the desk there. Two. So all of those movements are good. And like I said, you can mix and match them, or say there's just one thing in the workout you can't do, you could just pick one and then substitute that. And then obviously, you know, say it's like kind of easy for you, depending on how many reps are in the exercise, you might need to up the reps of kicks. So say it's something, you know, say it's like a jumping, say a squat jump or something, and maybe I only put 8 of them. Well, you know, doing this 8 times might not be enough. Like you might want to double it to 16 or at least 12, something like that. So another thing that you can do is a straight leg deadlift, which I don't have weights with me, but I'll just hold something. Perfect. So this is like a change jar. So you would hold the weight in front of you. You're going to get a good stance, and what you're doing is you're going to bend slowly forward. Your back is going to go a little bit down, but it's mostly your butt pushing toward the back wall. So your butt is going, your knees are going to have a slight bend in them, but your butt is moving backward toward the wall. You're going to lean down a little bit. You're going to feel it pull all in your hamstrings, and then you're going to stand up. 1. Slow lower, push your butt back to the wall. 2. So you'll know when to stop because you're gonna feel that pull. Like on me, I feel like my hamstrings are always tight. So even just doing it with this is enough. Like there's some people where if they don't have weight, I tell them they can still do it because it's gonna be a really good stretch. So you should feel it pull. So keep your back straight, let your butt push back when you feel that hit. So for me, it's usually mid shin where I feel like I really get a pull, and then I stand up, okay? So this might be in other exercise workouts, but it's still a good sub if you are trying not to like bend your legs. And the same thing with a single leg deadlift, which looks like this, which I believe we have done before, but if you've never done with me, you probably haven't. So with that one, you might wanna hold on. Look, this is a chair right here. So you're putting all the weight on one leg, and it's the same motion as the deadlift that we just did, but you're only on one leg. So this leg, you're not worrying about kicking it up or where it's going. It's just moving because you're moving. So don't do anything with that leg. Just let it go. And you're gonna bend down, and you're gonna feel that pull, which like I said is about mid shin for me. Stand up. 1. Go down, slow lower, feel that pull. 2. Okay, so I'll come forward just so you can see what my leg is doing. So see, I'm not kicking it, I'm not moving in any way. It's just moving because I'm moving, okay? So my knee does bend slightly, but not a lot. So when you do this one, I don't have bad knees, so I don't feel it in my knee. I really feel it in like my quad and my hamstring. So again, this is, I don't know what your exact issue is, but you might not be able to do that one. You might, it depends. So that's a good one. Another thing that you can try is sumo. So some people with knee issues, it depends on what part of the knee. So sumo squat is very wide stance and your feet are pointed outward. So you can go really wide and you can just almost do like, what do I want to call it? Like a shallow squat. So only going, you know, that far. And because your knees are pointed outward, it takes a lot of the pressure off of your knee and it brings it to like this area of your leg. So like I said, you're not going all the way down, but just a nice little shallow sumo squat might be okay for you. And you can even bring in your chair and try it from there if you're not sure, like, you know, if you're afraid that you're gonna go down too far, tap, tap, okay? Tap, tap. So again, you might not be able to do that at all, but you might, I don't know, depending on your knee issues. So another one, again, I don't know if standing bothers you or what, but is like, basically it's called a pistol squat, but it's like assisted because we have a chair. So what that is, same thing with our single leg deadlift, is you're putting all of your weight on one leg. So you're gonna slightly lift this leg. Sorry, this is like such a bad setup, but I don't really have an option. So, so one leg is off the floor, one leg is on the floor. You're gonna just stand up. So all your weight is on this one leg, and then you're going to sit down, still weight on one leg. Stand up, all your weight is on one leg, sit down, okay? And then you're gonna switch sides. So this one, you can add weight to it. If it's a struggle for you, like some people just have a hard time being on the one leg, you don't need to add any weight. So those are mostly the ones I can think of standing. And then there's some that you can do on the ground. So I'll try to tilt that down a little bit. So a good one is a donkey kick, which I probably do go over in this program, but you're basically gonna be on all fours and you're just gonna kick your leg up. If it hurts to be on your knee, you could probably like maybe put a towel or a mat under, because you are still, you know, stable with your hands, and it's not really gonna matter like if you're on a cushion or not. That doesn't, as long as you can balance, it doesn't really matter. So you're just putting your leg up, down, up, down. So I'm not swinging it, I'm just doing it very controlled, and I'm keeping my knee bent the whole time, okay? So that's a donkey kick. You can also do a straight leg donkey kick if that's more comfortable, or just for variety. You could do donkey circles where you go from one side to the other. So see how I'm making like a circle with my leg? That's called a donkey circle. And then you could also do pulses. So you're gonna keep your leg up, pulse, 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 pulse. Okay, so you have all of those varieties that you can pick from. And then lastly, we have like our bridge varieties. Well, that's actually not lastly. So we have bridges, which is like this. So this is a good lower body where you're not putting like any pressure on your knees. But if it hurts to bend your knees, then this might bother you. But you can also do elevated, where you would have your feet up on a chair and do the same thing. Or you can do one leg at a time. So those are all your bridge varieties. And then we also have prone. So when we do Supermans, which I'm sure will be on our program, you do your upper body and your lower body. I'm just gonna get like my butt in the picture. With the prone, you're just doing your legs. So you can either do kicks, flutter kicks, or you can do raises where you're raising both. So this one is like what a Superman looks like, but you don't have to do your upper body, okay? Like I said, kicks, or you can do full lifting. This one also is good to do if you had a bench. You would wrap your body, you would hug the bench, you would be laying on it, and your kind of your hip waist area would be slightly hanging off the bench, and then you would lift that way. But, and then calf raises, which we've talked about, or we will be talking about. I'm trying to move my chair. So it would be like this. you want to get a little bit of an angle. If you can do it on stairs, that's even better. But try not to just do it standing. You want to get an angle because it's going to create more movement, more distance that your heels can come off the ground. So that's going to give you a better stretch and a more full range of motion, okay? So like I said, I just tried to throw all those together in a video for you guys that might have knee issues. And then if you're doing a workout and you come across something, you can, just maybe pick through this video and just pick something really quick. And that way you're not having to, like I said, say something to me, wait for me to respond. Like I always have a very short window to work out. So if I had to wait 30 minutes for someone to reply, I might have just ruined the workout, or maybe I skipped it and now I'm shorting myself, that move or whatever. So hopefully this is helpful. And if you are going to end up using this a lot and you have more questions about certain moves, just let me know.